Hello guys, welcome to the video tutorial of Citrix XenApp 6.5. Today I will show you how to build a Citrix environment using XenApp 6.5, how to install, configure, what are the requirements, how to publish the websites, and how to access those applications using the web interface. Before we proceed, I would like to show you what is needed for this scenario. So we will be working on 4 virtual machines. Number one is the domain controller with Windows 2008 Server R2. The domain we will be using for this scenario is netsoft.edu. We will install Active Directory DNS using Server Manager. We will be adding a desktop services, remote desktop services to install remote desktop license server. In the old version, it was in Windows 2003, it was called Terminal Server Licensing Server. So that is the requirements for the licensing server. On server 2, which is a XenApp server, it is also Windows 2008 Server R2, and we will be using the farm name NITA, N-I-T-A. And what we will be installing on this server is Citrix license server, Citrix web interface server, Citrix XenApp server. Now we can also install these components on separate server. We can install Citrix license server and remote desktop services on a separate dedicated server, but in this scenario we are installing all these components on one server. The prerequisites for Citrix license server are web server role. Again, we will be installing this from the server manager. The old version for the web server was IIS and ASP.NET. So I will show you how to install that. For Citrix web interface, there are a few prerequisites. Number one is J#. Again, the web server role for server manager, which was in the previous versions, it was IIS and ASP.NET. For Citrix XenApp server, in older versions like XenApp 5.0, we have the prerequisites are terminal server. So it is the same in this version too. We will be installing remote desktop session host, which the older version was called terminal server, and one more requirement is .NET Framework 3.5. Now the only difference in this 6.5 XenApp server and 5.0 is that XenApp 6.5, when you install the server installation, these components will be installed with the installation, so you don't have to install it before. But if you want, you can install it. It's completely up to you. The second XenApp server will be the part of the same farm NITA, and it would be the Windows 2008 server will be using as an operating system. The prerequisites are the same: .NET Framework 3.5 and remote desktop session host. And the fourth machine will be working on Windows 7. We will use this machine as a client, Citrix client machine, and we will be installing Citrix receiver on it. So let's proceed with the installation. So I will log into my first server, which is the domain controller. So the name of our domain controller is Nita ADDS01, and as you can see, it's part of the it's still the work group, so I did not configure the domain. So the first step to configure the domain is to go to networking, and we will provide the IP address for this. This would be 172, sorry, 10.10.10 be the DNS. So the networking is configured. Now from domain initial configuration task in 2008, you can add the rules here. So click on add rules, press next, and to install the domain controller we need to install Active Directory domain services rule before we start the Active Directory installation process. So you check off Active Directory domain services and add required features, press next, and it will show you the summary, and hit install. It will take 1 or 2 minutes to finish this role installation. After this role is installed, we can either go to run and type in DC promo here and start the Active Directory installation visit, or we can from the server manager we can just click on the link that will appear after this installation. So you hit close, window, open server manager. If you go to roles, it will show you Active Directory domain services. So if you click on that, it will show you to run the wizard. So you can click on that. It will bring you to the same wizard which you can get by typing DC promo. So I will try that too. So this is checking if the Active Directory services role is installed, and then it will bring up that wizard. So as you see, it's the same wizard. So press next again. So we are creating a new domain in a forest. Next. So the domain name again is netsoft.edu. Press next. So we will use the forest functional level as 2008 R2. Press next. So yes, we wanted to install DNS server. Press yes on this message. Press next. Enter the directory services restore mode password. in case of restoring the Active Directory. Next. So while we are waiting for the installation of Active Directory, we go to our second machine, the XenApp Server 1. Log in as administrator. We can configure the IP in the meantime. So we configured the networking for this machine. As you see, this machine is still part of the work group. It's not part of the domain. So Active Directory is installed. It finished and it will ask for the restart. So restart now. This machine will also act as a remote desktop licensing server. We call it RDS licensing server. So after the machine is up, I will show you how to install the license server role on this machine. So the domain controller is up. Now we'll log in as domain admin. To confirm Active Directory is successfully installed, go to Start, Administrative Tools, Active Directory, User and Computers, and there you will see our domain is installed successfully. So close this. and now we need to install the license server role. So we will wait for the window to, okay, so the window is up completely. So hit add role, press next, and to install the remote desktop licensing server, we will install remote desktop service. So choose remote desktop services, press next again, and choose remote desktop licensing. So if you see the description, it says remote desktop licensing, formerly TS licensing manager. So again, in 2003 it was called terminal services licensing server, and in this a new 2008 version, it is called remote desktop licensing. Press next. So configure discovery scope for this license server. So we will choose in this scenario the bold forest. You can choose domain if you would like to. It's completely depends on how your environment is set up. Press next and hit install. While this installation is running, we can go to the second machine. We have already configured the IP, so we will now join it to the domain. The second step on this machine is to join the domain after configuring the IP. Change settings, change domain. Our domain name is netsoft.edu. Okay, enter the password for your credentials for your administrator. Password. Domain joined successfully. You must restart your computer, apply these changes. Okay, close and hit restart now. So here the remote desktop license service is installed. Press close the window. It is always good practice to restart the server after installing any component. So just hit restart. So we'll wait for the machines to load up. So our domain controller is ready with the remote desktop licensing server, and now we are going to log into the XenApp server 1, where we will be installing Citrix licensing server, Citrix web interface server, and the XenApp server. So log in. Make sure you log in to the domain. Netsoft. VMware tool prompt. So we will install it. Log in again. So we logged on successfully to the domain. So if you can see, this machine is now part of the netsoft.edu domain. Now we need to add a role, a web server role for Citrix license server and Citrix web interface server. So both of these components require these prerequisites, which is web server. Again, you can install these components as dedicated servers. So you can install Citrix license server as a dedicated server. And you can also install Citrix web interface server as a dedicated server. In this scenario, we are installing all these components on one server. Next. So here, make sure you choose ASP.NET, add required services, and make sure you choose all the components of IIS management tools and IS6 management compatibility. Press next and hit install. I will not be installing the RDS session host. As I mentioned, it will be installed with the installation of Windows XenApp server. While this is installing, I can mount the ISO for the XenApp 6.5. Make sure you check off connected to browse. So I'm choosing XenApp 6.5. Hit OK. While this role is being installed, I will go to the other machine, our second XenApp server, and I will power on this machine. So installation successful. Hit close. Now once this is installed, again it's a good practice if we can restart just to make sure that everything is installed properly. So hit restart. the server is up. Now one more tool we need to install for the Azure Web interface server prerequisite, and that is J#. I already mounted the ISO for XenApp 6.5, and we will now install the J# from the XenApp medium. Go to start, go to computer, I'm going to close this window, right click, open, go to support folder, and you will find this folder called J#20. Then you double click on this folder, and we're using a 64-bit operating system, so we will choose the installation of 64-bit. I agree. Very simple installation. So in the meantime, I'll go to the second XenApp machine. Log in with administrator. Installation still in progress. So again, whenever we log into the new machine, the very first step is to configure the IP address, and that is what we are gonna do now. Properties. This machine has an IP of 16.10.30. I'll join this to the domain at the same time. Going to restart this machine now. Go back to our XenApp server 1. Installation is finished. Go back, and now we will start run this setup. So when we double click on the auto run, we will see this window. So I will choose install XenApp server, and see, this is the .NET 3.5 Service Pack 1 is not installed on this system. Click OK to install .NET 3.5 SP1 framework. So this is one of the prerequisites for installing XenApp server. So if we press OK, it will start installing the .NET 3.5. and I will show you in during the installation process. um, we will see that it will install the prerequisites like domain remote desktop services session host. So while this is installing, let's see, machine is up now. I also wanted to mention here that the XenApp 6.5 installation is longer as compared to the newer version 7.5 and the older version that was 5.0. It will take about 30 minutes to 1 hour depending on your resources you have assigned to your machines. So this is our second XenApp server. I'm logged in. I'm not going to install any role or prerequisites on this machine. As I mentioned earlier, when we will install the XenApp server 2, and when we run this setup, it will be installed by itself. So you can see this XenApp server 2 is also part of the domain now. I think I missed the do from the name. So let me fix this. Requires another reboot. Now. So after installing the .NET framework, this is the window we see. So just hit once on the plus sign. It will take some time to pop up the next window. So now on the next screen we have the option to select the XenApp editions available. So XenApp 6.1 comes with Platinum Edition, Enterprise Edition, and Advanced Edition. So for this scenario, we will use Platinum Edition. Press accept the agreement. Scroll down. Next. Now, on this server, as we planned, we will be installing license server, XenApp server, and the web interface server. So I choose all three and press next. So the default component, license server core. With XenApp we will be installing XenApp server, XenApp management, Windows desktop and experience integration, and under web interface we will be installing web interface. Press next. Now this is the screen I was talking about. This screen will tell you what are the prerequisites required and what are the prerequisites this setup will install. So I will show you the remote desktop server role. This is the role. So now I will proceed with next. It will show you the summary that these are the rules. It will be installed. Hit install. For the second XenApp server, the installation would be similar. The only difference would be we will only choose XenApp server and not the license server and not the web interface server. But you can have multiple license servers in your Citrix environment. It's again depends on how your environment is set up. So while this installation is processed, I will log in here and I will run this setup on this one too. So first thing, mount the ISO. So I will run the setup on this one. And the reason why I'm running the setup, I'm just installing the prerequisites, and after the installation is done for prerequisites, I will wait for the first servers to install, and then I will run the setup on this server, so we can join the form on the first server. So I press OK to install the prerequisites. We are back to the first server, and it is still installing the desktop remote desktop services role. So I will while this is running, I will pause the video, and we will continue in a few minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. So as you see, the prerequisites requires restarts. The prerequisites are installed, so you'll press finish here. Now there are two ways you can restart manually and come back to the and run the setup wizard again, or you can just go to the start menu and press on XenApp Server Role Manager. Let's see what's going on XenApp Server 2. So you can see the .NET framework is installed. I press add server role. I come back to the XenApp Server 1. So here you see says to do a reboot and to configure the license server, because we installed the license server on this machine and it has been installed. First I'm going to reboot, and then I will show you how to configure the license server. Press reboot. Are you sure you wanted to restart the server? Yes. In the meantime, I will go to the second XenApp server. Still processing. As I mentioned earlier, you have to be very patient with this XenApp 6.5 installation process. So again, it come up with three editions. So I will choose Platinum edition. I will accept the license agreement. Down, press next. Now in the XenApp Server 1, we chose to install license server, XenApp server, and the web interface. But on this server, we are just installing the XenApp server, so I will uncheck web interface and license server and leave the XenApp check mark. Press next, and I will choose the leave the default components as it is, no changes. Press next. So it will install again all the prerequisites required, and I will press next. Summary of the prerequisites, hit install. I will go back to the XenApp server 1 and see if it is loaded up. It's still loading. It is configuring the Windows feature because there are lots of prerequisites installed with the installation process. I will go back to my XenApp. So the machine is up. I will log in as a domain admin. So it is loaded up. Now to proceed with the installation process, I'm going to hit start and press the XenApp Server Role Manager. Close this window. So we don't require this window. So the prerequisites are installed on this. We hit finish, close, follow the same process. I'm back to my XenApp Server 1, waiting for the installation window to resume. So I will configure the license server here. You can resume install as well if you want. So here is the license server. So it will ask you to enter a password. Choose your own password. So it is a set a password for the license administration console. So press OK. It's taking its time. And as you can see, the license server is configured successfully. Now we resume install. while it's resuming, I'll go to the second XenApp server. So here it says reboot, so I press reboot, press yes. From this window, it will take minimum 30 minutes to complete the next installation process. Also, once that process will start, I will pause this video, and then I will come back when the next configuration window will come up. So I will pause the video here, and I will be back in few minutes. As you can see here that the installation window is appeared. I hit install. There's something wrong with this window. Just give me one moment. So the installation is started for the components, and again from here it will take about 30 minutes. So I will pause this video. See you in 30 minutes. Welcome back, guys. I just last screen was messed up, so I just fixed this screen, and as you can see, these are the components those are installing. There are 12 components, and the installation is still in progress. So I will again pause this video, and I will be back in 30 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. So the installation for servers and app server roles is successfully completed. I will hit finish here. The next screen is to specify licensing for this server. So I hit specify licensing. Again, it's gonna take its time. So while this window is popping up, I would like to go to my fourth machine, which is a client machine, and I will power on that machine. And again, the very first step is to configure the IP address for the machine, and then we will join it to the domain. Still waiting for the window to pop up. So here is the window for specifying the license. So because we installed the license server on the same machine, so I will give the address for this machine. And we will have to provide the fully qualified domain name. We'll test the connection to make sure the connection is successful. So as you can see, the connection is successful. Next, the reason why we're getting this screen, because this is the trial version we are using, and then that is why the actual license is not found on the license server. So we press continue. So it will ask us to choose the licensing model, so we will choose the XenApp, as we are using XenApp in this scenario. So apply, you will get the same message, press continue. So it is now in process of configuring the license for XenApp Server 1. So as you can see, the license server is specified. I'm sorry, the license is specified for this server as XenApp Server 1, and now I will configure this server. So we hit configure. Again, it's gonna take its time. In the meantime, I will go to the workstation and configure this machine. Again, the first step is to configure the IP address for this machine. The IP address we are choosing is 40. The DNS server address, and now we will join this machine to the domain. Must be typing mistake. The domain joined successfully. I will restart this machine now. Now we will go back to the server 1. So here is the configuration wizard. So because this is the first XenApp server and we are creating a new form, so we will choose new form, provide the name, so I will provide the name, and the form name is, for this scenario, is Nita, and the first Citrix administrator account is administrator, and it's your domain administrator. Press next. Now it will, if we have an existing SQL database, then we will choose the second option, but because in this scenario we don't have an existing SQL server database, so we will choose the first option, which is install and use a new SQL Server Express database on this machine. Choose that option. We press next. ask us to enter the credentials. So we are using the domain admin credentials. Press next. So here we will choose, we will leave it as a default zone. We are not defining any zone here. If we wanted to define the zone, we can just check out this and you can put the name of the zone. Next, and then hit apply. Now it will complete the XenApp server configuration. We'll install the SQL Server Express database. We'll create a data store, initialize the data store, we'll start the IME service, it will register Citrix administrator. And again on the second XenApp server, the installation is the same, so I will not go through the whole process in this video. I will show you where to join the farm to an existing farm, to the not the new farm, because the second XenApp server would be part of the same farm. So the installation for the XenApp server configuration is completed. So I will hit finish. So now it is asking to configure the web interface. But before I configure the web interface, I would go to the start menu, to all programs, administrative tools, go to Citrix, here you will see three options. One is Citrix App Center. This is the same we were using in the old version. We were using the the management console. So in XenApp 6.5 it is called Citrix App Center. So the system is just want to show you these options here after the installation. So after the reboot we will configure the Citrix App Center. So let me reboot here. While the server is rebooting, I would go to the client machine. We joined it with the domain, and I'd like to log in with the domain admin. The only component we need to install on this client machine is Citrix receiver. So I will first mount the ISO. the VMware tool notification. I'm gonna log off and log back in again. So the XenApp server 1 is up again. As usual, log in with the administrator. And we will proceed with the rest of the installation. This is a message from Citrix receiver. So whenever we install the XenApp server, Citrix receiver is installed with it. So I will enter the URL later. While the installation window is popping up, I would like to go to Management Console, and I will click on Citrix App Center. I will choose it says .NET Authenticate Signature Revocation List. Checking for MMs is currently enabled, so I will disable it for now. So before the App Center is open, I need to run the Discovery Console. Press Next. Uncheck single sign-on. We don't want single sign-on, it is not configured, so we just have XenApp installed. We're choosing XenApp. Add local computer. Next. And the Discovery Wizard is completed successfully. So it is giving a message that there is no published applications. Press OK. Now on the installation wizard, XenApp configuration is completed. The only configuration left is the web interface, which we will do it later on after we publish the application. So this Nita is our farm name, as you can see it's there. We have some important tabs here. One is administrator. So right now to access or to configure this console, we have the domain admin that has full admin privileges. Under applications, we can publish applications, and I'm going to show you how to publish the applications from here. Now while configuring this console, I wanted to see because we need to join our second XenApp server also to this farm, so I wanted to know where is that installation process. Okay, so again it's the same setup, and need to assign the license. So because the license server was installed on the first XenApp server, so I will be providing the fully qualified domain name for the first XenApp server here. Test the connection successful, press next. Again this message will continue. We choose the model as XenApp, apply, get the same message, hit continue. So I will go back to the XenApp server 1, and if we go to the server, we can see only one server in the form because the second server is not yet joined to the form, and the zone is we're using here is a default zone. So we will wait for this license configuration to complete, and then we will try to join the existing form. Meanwhile, I will go back and tell you how to add the users to the administrators. So first we'll create 2 test users in Active Directory domain controller. Start menu, then administrative tools, delete user and computers. So right click users, new user, username is Megan. First username name is Megan Fox. Next, password is password. Use password never expires. Next, finish. The user is created. Create a new one more user. Name is as Paris Sultan. Press next. Specify the password. Uncheck user must change password and check off password never expires. Press next. Now these users are the normal domain users. They are not member of any they're just member of domain users group. They are not member of any administrative groups here, but we will put them in the administrative groups in the XenApp server. So we have successfully created 2 users. Go to XenApp server 1, under administrator, right click and choose add administrator. Now here press add under Citrix user selector because we are adding the users from the domain, so choose the domain, double click. It will ask you to enter the domain admin credentials. And hit show users, double click on users and add Megan Fox. Paris Hilton, press OK, press next. Here you can specify what kind of privileges you wanted to specify to this user. So I will choose you can choose view only, full administration, and custom. I will choose full administration for now and hit finish. Now you see both all three user administrator, Megan Fox and P Hilton, have full admin rights. Now we will try to change the permissions for this user, P Hilton. We can either go to other tasks and go to permissions, or just right click go to administrator properties. Under privileges we can choose view only for Paris Hilton. Yes. Okay, and now you can see Paris Hilton have view only privileges, and Megan Fox have full admin rights, and domain administrator have full admin rights. Now we will also, the next tab is application tab. So you can either publish the applications under applications, or you can create a new folder and you can publish the application under that new folder. The reason of creating new folder is if you wanted to organize, if you have multiple departments, different users, you wanted to specify or organize your environment, you can choose this option. So I will create few folders as test folders, name it HR apps, and make sure you check off this option. So this option will copy all the permission from this application tab to the subfolders. Press OK. Right click on applications again. We create a folder called utilities. And we'll create another folder, name accounting. So similarly you can create multiple folders according to your needs. So in this example I will now tell you how to publish the application in one of the folders. Go to utilities, right click and choose publish applications. Press next. The display name of the application, in this example I will choose WordPad. Next, choose application type, and where we are accessing the application from the server, so we choose this option, and this is a built-in application, installed application on this machine. Press next. Now it is asking for the location where that application exists, so go to browse, go to program files, Windows NT, accessories, and there you have WordPad. So you add WordPad, press next. So now it is asking which servers this application will run on. So WordPad is a built-in application, so we can add the first XenApp server, we can add both XenApp servers, because both of the XenApp servers have this application built in. Because we did not add the XenApp server 2 in the form yet, so I will choose server 1 for now. Now we'll tell you how you can add the second one into the same. Next. Now which users will have access to those applications? So you can press add, choose the domain, make credentials, just ignore this message, press OK. Users, and I will choose domain users, all domain users, press OK, press next. Now here we can specify or change the icon for the word. I will choose any of these icons for this example. I'll choose this. Okay. So where we need to specify the name here for the for the folder where the client application will reside. So I will choose the folder My Apps. To add this folder to the start menu of the user for the client, we check off the box, add the client start menu, and if we wanted to add the same folder to the client's desktop, we'll check off this option, press next, leave it as default and hit finish. So you will see the WordPad application is published successfully. Now the next step is to create a website using the web interface. But before that, I would like to go back to the second server and add it to the existing form. So now we are on the XenApp Server 2 configuration window here. So because this server would be part of the same form, Nita, so I will choose the second option, add this server to an existing server form, and I will choose again, because the SQL Server Express database is already installed on the XenApp Server 1, so I will choose the first option, hit next. Now it will ask for the location of the database. So because we installed the SQL Server Express database on XenApp Server 1, so I will choose from the drop down XenApp Server 1, press next. It will ask for the credentials. Test completed successfully, press OK, press next. In the default options, it's part of the default zone, next, apply, and it will start configuring the server. In the meantime, I will go to the workstation and we will start the installation of Citrix receiver. So I will go to my computer, press auto run, choose manual install components, go to common components, choose plugin and streaming profilers, and choose Citrix Receiver Enterprise or Citrix Receiver, any of these options. So I will choose Citrix Receiver Enterprise. We'll start the Citrix installation. I will close this window, the XenApp Server 1 App Center window. Just waiting for the server 2 to get configured, and we will start configuring the web interface, and we will create a new site. So you can see the second server installation is completed successfully. I hit finish, and it requires a reboot. I press reboot, and the second server will restart now. So the Citrix Receiver installation is completed successfully on the client. I will exit the installation wizard. I will enter the URL later, choose this option. So the Citrix Receiver is installed successfully. So our second XenApp server is up now. We go back to the first XenApp server. Now this window doesn't have to be open. You can still close it, and you can still access the application, the web interface, and the app center. From the management consoles. So I will reopen the app center since our XenApp 2 server is installed. This is to make sure that the second server is part of the farm now. So just open our farm, and if you hit server, you will see both of our XenApp servers are in the farm. Now coming back to the applications, we published the application, the WordPad application. So if we need to add this application, right now if we go to server, it will only show one server. If you right click on this, and you go to application properties, and under servers you can add the second server as well. So now both of the application, now this WordPad application is published on XenApp server 1, but because it's a built-in application of XenApp server 2 and it's the same application, we can use that too. So this is, I just add this to show you how to add the servers to the existing published applications. So press OK here. Now coming back to this same server, we'll minimize this window, go to Start menu, and I will now show you how to create a website using the web interface. Go to Administrative Tools, Management Consoles, Citrix Web Interface. So when you will open the Citrix Web Interface, you will see two options here. The first option is for the web client, and the second option is for the PN agent, which is Program Neighborhood Agent. So right click on XenApp website, create a new site, press next. We are using the web interface, next. So site creation is in progress. Site created successfully, press next. So next you enter the form name, Meta, so this is the IP address of our first send server. We can add the second XenApp server too. For load balancing, we leave the port for XML as 80. Press next, and we choose explicit authentication method. Press next. Now this option, if you wanted to restrict access for the users in selected domains, if you have multiple domains, you can choose this option, and you can define the user can log into which domain. So I will leave it for now as default, and press next, and here it will show you the website appearance. One is minimal, one is full. I will choose full for now. Press next, and user access application content desktop hosted on remote servers. So I will choose this option because we will be accessing the application from a remote server. Press next, hit finish. So the website is created successfully. So now the next step is to go to the client machine. I will try to copy this URL. I guess I can't, so I will write down the address. So here we will write the address for the web interface server, which is our XenApp server 1. So you can see here the website is loading here. While this website is loading, I wanted to also tell you that you can do different you will have different options here to configure this website. You can change the appearance of the website. You can choose the text color, you can choose the logo, you can create a header message, and you can create a header and footer message. So we will configure this. I will show you how to configure these options. I'm just waiting for the site to load, and we will test if we are able to access the applications. So the site is still loading here. So as you can see, the site is loaded here. This is the first message you will receive when the website is open. It is telling to install the Citrix receiver. We already installed the Citrix receiver, so we will close this window, hit continue, and you should see the green check mark that indicates that you have the receiver installed. So we'll try to log in with the administrator. The domain name, store your password, yes. So while this is loading up, here is I just wanted to mention here is where you can change the logo, and you can put your own company's logo. You can also change the color of the text. Once we logged in, I will try to make some changes and see if it will change the appearance of this website here. First time it will take some time to load the website. You can see I'm still waiting for the website to load up here. Again, initially it will take some time to load this website. Let's put the credentials again. For some reason it did not pick up the credentials. The good thing is that we are not getting any error messages here. It is taking its time, and here you go. As you can see, we can see the folder we have created with the name My Apps. We open this folder, you can see that Word application which we have published. I'll try to open this application and see if we are able to successfully open this application. So I just click on this application. Again, this is the first time, so it will take some time. So we will wait for the application to load up. So hit open. And we have successfully opened the application using the web interface. So now I will close this application, and I wanted to tell you before I end this tutorial, I wanted to tell you if we can change few things on the appearance. So I will try to change the logo. So minimize this. I will use this company logo. Copy. So the path for this logo, go to C, go to inetpub, www.root, go to Citrix, go to XenApp, and you will find the media folder here. Just paste the file here, just copy the name and go to parents. Make sure you don't remove .png. Hit save. We'll leave the color as white here. Okay, and I'll try to add some headers here. Choose the language in English. Press next. choose login screen text and the footer text. Alright, welcome to NetSoft. I'll press next. I will write something. Have a good day. Hit finish. So, okay. Close the window. Now go back to my client and I hit F5 to refresh, and as you see, the logo is changed here. If you see the footer, you can see I wrote have a good day there. I will log off now and see what's on the login screen. So as you say, I wrote down the message under welcome to NetSoft. It's there, and then I put the footer to enjoy your day. So these are the few things. You can change much more. You just need to explore more onto this web interface. I can also try to change the authentication if we need a restricted domain, just to show you how you can configure that. So I can put here multiple domains. I'll add one example domain. I can put nita.local. And then I will also choose pre-populated. If we choose this option, the pre-populated option, I will let's first check the first changes, and then we'll try to, so F5 refresh. We'll go back here. Choose both of the domains here. Press OK. Go F5. As you can see now, the domain is, we are getting a drop down menu where we see both of the domains. So the user is part of if the user is part of nita.local, he can choose nita.local. If he is part of the netsoft.edu, he can choose this option to log in and access his application. So this concludes our video tutorial for XenApp 6.5. I hope after watching this video you will have better understanding on how to install and configure the XenApp 6.5. See you again, and thank you for watching the video.